What's going on, guys? It's Greg here, aka NYPrepper. It is Thursday, January 4th, 2024, and I have another emergency alert to share with you guys. So, looks like Russia's going to be delaying the modernization of some of their strategic missile forces. Okay, these are their nuclear forces, guys, and this is very concerning that they would delay the modernization of the Topol M complexes to the RS-24 Yars, basically upgrading the missiles to more advanced missiles. And they're going to delay this upgrade until at least 2025. So the reason why this is an emergency alert is it's very unusual for any country to just suddenly delay something like this. Okay, this tells me that Russia wants to be prepared for a worst case scenario, a nuclear war with the United States, and they don't want to suddenly replace their existing missiles without having enough time to test the new missiles out to make sure that they work. Okay. So 2025, no sooner than that. And of course, there's a lot of people out there that think that something big is going to happen in 2025. That's going to be the quarter century mark. And that could be the year that there's a nuclear war. Who knows, guys, with the way things are going lately. I think nuclear war could happen in 2025, but there's been a lot of different people out there saying that 2025 could be the big year. So this is very interesting. This is coming from TASS, the Russian news agency, and it was posted on January 2nd. The headline reads, Re-equipment of regiments with Topol M complexes to Yars will begin after 2025. The mobile group still includes regiments armed with the modern Topol M mobile ground-based missile system with sufficient service life, the department noted. The re-equipment of the regiments of the strategic missile forces armed with the Topol M complexes with the RS-24's Yars complex is planned to begin after 2025. This was reported by the Russian Ministry of Defense. The mobile group includes regiments armed with the modern Topol M mobile ground-based missile system with sufficient operational life. There are plans to begin re-equipment of these regiments with the RS-24 Yars after 2024, they said. So the RS-24 Yars is basically a more modern version of the Topol M. It's more accurate, but the Topol M is still very devastating, and it can carry multiple warheads, and this is for their mobile launch systems. Okay, this is for their transporter erector launchers, their mobile launchers, the missile trucks, those giant trucks with like 16 wheels, and they have the missile on it. Okay, so this is a huge red flag that Russia is preparing for a possible nuclear war with the United States. And NATO members in Europe have signed a contract for up to 1,000 Patriot missiles to bolster air defenses in the face of the threat from Russia, the alliance said Wednesday. The announcement of the contract, estimated to be worth $5.5 billion, comes as Moscow has unleashed repeated barrages of deadly missile and drone strikes against Ukraine in recent days. NATO's procurement agency said the deal, agreed by an initial group of countries, including Germany, the Netherlands, Romania, and Spain, would see Patriot missile production stepped up in Europe. Alliance Chief Jens Stoltenberg welcomed the timely announcement to invest in up to 1,000 new Patriot air defense missiles to bolster the alliance's security. Russian missile and drone attacks on Ukrainian civilian cities and towns show how important modern air defenses are. Scaling up ammunition production is key for Ukraine's security and for ours, Stoltenberg said in a statement. The NATO Support and Procurement Agency said the new contract would see a missile production facility set up in Germany by a joint venture between Germany's MBDA and Raytheon, part of U.S. Group RTX. Europe will produce 1,000 Patriot air defense missiles itself. This shows that European cooperation ensures concrete successes, Dutch Defense Minister Kasia Alongren wrote on social media. Patriot missiles are estimated to cost around $4 million each, and NATO said the deal also includes other elements, including test equipment and spare parts for future maintenance. So this is absolutely huge, guys. 1,000 Patriot missiles going to be built by NATO in Europe. This is historic, guys. This is probably going to be the first time in history that Patriot missiles are going to be built outside of the U.S., okay? Raytheon is going to set up a production facility in Germany, okay? So this is a huge red flag that basically we are going back to 1980, okay? Where you had, NATO piling up hundreds of thousands of troops on one side of the Berlin Wall, and Russia and the Soviet Union and the Warsaw Pact, hundreds of thousands of troops on their side. That's what's going on here, guys, okay? We've had multiple treaties already scrapped, okay? The Conventional Forces Treaty in Europe was scrapped. Okay, that was the treaty that was signed during the latter days of the Cold War that put limits on how many tanks and artillery and heavy armored vehicles could be put in the Eurasian region by both Russia and NATO. That's gone. Russia scrapped that. The START II treaty, which put limits on nuclear warheads and nuclear weapon delivery systems, is scrapped. The Intermediate Range Nuclear Forces Treaty has been scrapped, allowing Russia and the U.S. to deploy medium range ballistic missiles. And then the Nuclear Test Ban Treaty was scrapped by Russia, so now Russia can test nukes in the atmosphere and underwater. Okay? And there might be another treaty that they pulled out of that I just can't remember, but that's 4 big treaties right there gone. Okay? So we are going back in time, guys. Okay? The doomsday clock has never been as close as it is now to midnight. Okay? If you go on the doomsday clock website, we're like 90 seconds to midnight. Even during the height of the Cold War, we never got as close to midnight as we are right now. Okay, what's going on right now in Europe and with Ukraine? I mean, these tensions are higher than during the Cuban Missile Crisis. The Cuban Missile Crisis lasted a few weeks and it was settled, okay? The leaders of both countries, the US and the Soviet Union, Khrushchev and JFK, they talked it out. And, the US pulled its missiles out of Turkey and Russia pulled its missiles out of Cuba, and that was it. It was over, okay? But we're not seeing any diplomacy between the US and Russia, okay? All diplomatic channels have been closed. They don't talk to each other. When was the last time Biden spoke with Putin on the phone or met with him? Make no mistake about it, guys. We are on the verge of nuclear war, okay? And Russia is delaying the modernization of their mobile missiles, their nuclear missiles. And South Korean and U.S. troops have conducted joint combat firing drills near the border with North Korea involving heavy weapons as Pyongyang lambasted the allies for dangerous moves, pushing the region to the brink of an inferno of nuclear war. The exercise by a South Korean Army Mechanized Infantry Brigade and U.S. Army Armored Stryker Brigade was to test and enhance combat readiness, simulating enemy aggression, South Korea said in a statement on Thursday. The drills took place over a week on December 29th and ended on Thursday, the South Korean Army said. The joint drills involved more than 110 large combat weapons, including South Korean Army tanks, anti-aircraft artillery, and combat earth movers, supported by U.S. military attack aircraft and armored fighting vehicles, the Army said. South Korea's Navy on Wednesday conducted live firing drills and anti-submarine maneuvers in the waters in the east, west, and the south involving destroyers, frigates, and corvettes, the Navy said. The Allies have dramatically increased the scale and intensity of joint drills in the past year amid escalating tensions on the Korean Peninsula as Pyongyang tested both long-range ballistic missiles and tactical weapons designed to strike targets in the southern part of Korea and the Pacific. The U.S. has also deployed more military assets near the Korean Peninsula, including a nuclear missile submarine, aircraft carriers, and nuclear bombers. Wrapping up a major ruling party meeting, leader Kim Jong-un on Saturday lashed out at Washington for deploying large weapons and vowed to increase the North's nuclear arsenal and grow attack capabilities to quote-unquote pacify the South. The North called the joint firing drills reckless war maneuvers and mocked South Korea for backing Washington's hegemonic ambitions when it has no chance of winning or survival. With the instinct of confrontation deep in their bones, the puppets again marked the new year by making the aggressive choice that stokes war, the North's official KCNA news agency said in a commentary. 2024 is the year of the highest risk of conflict, it said. Okay, so we have Korea on the verge of war, guys. Kim Jong-un tested a solid fueled ICBM before Christmas. North Korea is spinning up another nuclear reactor so they can enrich more uranium and make more nuclear material for nuclear weapons. So this is very concerning, guys. Okay, the U.S. and South Korea doing ground maneuvers, okay, with mechanized infantry, and then they were training with their Navy, okay, anti-submarine maneuvers with corvettes and frigates. I mean, they're basically practicing for a full-blown war with North Korea, okay, where the South would have to go on land and fight against an invasion from the North with strikers and stuff. And then in the sea, practice sinking those North Korean ballistic missile subs because North Korea has several ballistic missile subs. So South Korea would want to take those out as soon as possible. So it makes sense that they're suddenly doing these anti-submarine drills. So, guys, the situation is spiraling out of control. We also have some concerning information coming from Canada. Apparently, the emergency rooms up there are overflowing and waiting times are surging due to an influx in patients with respiratory disease. Okay, so something's going on that we're not being told about. And this update was sponsored by My Patriot Supply. Guys, My Patriot Supply is doing a 60% off sale for the end of 2023. And they're also doing a 25% sale on their 4-week emergency food supply. To get these deals, you have to go to preparewithnyprepper.com. The link is in the description below this video. And their 4-week emergency food supply is contained within 2 rugged, watertight buckets. Free shipping is included. So you have a month's worth of food packed into just 2 buckets. If you have to bug out, you can easily take those buckets with you. If you live in a small apartment, you can easily find a space to store 2 buckets, and you're going to be set for at least a month. And this food is freeze-dried, so it has a 25-year shelf life. It includes breakfasts, lunches, dinners, drinks, and snacks. And My Patriot Supply is also running a 60% off end-of-the-year sale. And to take advantage of that, you have to click on the My Patriot Supply logo when you get to preparewithnyprepper.com. It's at the top of the page. You click on that, and it'll take you to their general store. And you'll see here all kinds of prepping and survival products. They have MREs. They have 2,400 calorie emergency ration bars. They have canned heat and cooking fuel. They have potassium iodide, survival seeds, solar generators, solar panels, anything you can imagine. It's all in here. So use the link preparewithnyprepper.com to get 25% off of their 1-month emergency food supply and to also take advantage of their 60% off sale across their entire store. And I'll leave a link in the description below this video. And we have a situation in the Falkland Islands erupting. The row over the sovereignty of the Falkland Islands has erupted again after the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Argentina issued a statement asking Britain to start negotiations over it again. In a statement issued on Wednesday, the South American country said it intended to restore sovereignty over the islands and intended this to be done through diplomatic means. This is what the country believes is the only possible way to restore the exercise of its rights. In a statement, the department continued, the government and people of Argentina once again reaffirm 191 years after the illegal occupation of the Malvinas Islands, their lawful and indefeasible sovereignty rights over the Falkland Islands, South Georgia, and the South Sandwich Islands and their adjacent maritime areas. Within this framework, the Argentine government wishes to maintain a mature relationship with the United Kingdom that involves substantive and constructive dialogue on all matters of mutual interest with a view to building a climate of trust conducive to the resumption of negotiations. The row over the islands has raged for generations, and under the new stewardship of the new president, Javier Milei, Argentina has made another push at attempting to begin negotiations over it. In its statement, the department reaffirmed its interest in the Good Office's missions assigned by the UN General Assembly to the Secretary General of the United Nations and insisted it wanted to resume negotiations to find as soon as possible a peaceful solution to the sovereignty dispute relating to the question of the Malvinas Islands. It's just another word for the Falkland Islands. The country's foreign policy department also noted that its government expresses its willingness to resume bilateral negotiations in order to find a solution over the disputed islands. Mr. Milei, who was elected president in November, had spoke ardently about his ambitions at regaining the islands, describing Buenos Aires as having non-negotiable sovereignty over them. This was rejected by his counterpart in Britain, Rishi Sunak, whose spokesman said there is no doubt the Falkland Islands are British. So, absolutely crazy situation going on around the world, guys. So much news coming in, and we're only the fourth day into 2024, and we have earthquakes, we have war, okay, possible new diseases. I mean, 2024 is going to be absolutely crazy, guys. Okay, look at how crazy it's been just in the last 4 days. And we have over 361 days to go. Okay, so make sure you guys are getting prepared in all aspects, physically, mentally, and spiritually. And I'm going to continue to monitor the situation around the world and keep you guys updated. Make sure you're subscribed. Hit the bell icon below so you can get notified when I post these updates. I want to quickly show you guys some flight paths from last night. We had some kind of aerial refueling going on over the West Coast last night. We had several aerial refuelers over Northern California and Southern Oregon. Not sure what they were doing there, but it's pretty uncommon. And then we had a nuclear war command and control plane hanging out off the coast of Long Island and New Jersey, all the way out here off the continental shelf, pretty much all evening and all night. So that's pretty uncommon as well. So that's pretty much the latest breaking news, but serious emergency alert, guys. Okay, Russia delaying the modernization of their Topol M missiles. They were supposed to upgrade them to the RS-24 Yars. Now they're going to delay it to no sooner than 2025. That is a huge red flag. South Korea and the U.S. doing live fire Army and Navy drills, okay? And they've already moved B-1 bombers, an aircraft carrier strike group. They also deployed some kind of ground-based medium-range missile system in that area, okay? So things are really spiraling out of control, guys. And then, of course, now we have the Falkland Islands erupting. Okay, that's going to be the new war front. Argentina is going to go to war over the Falkland Islands again with Britain. That's what it looks like, guys. So potentially another new war front opening up in Argentina now. So I'll be back later on this afternoon with another update and then probably another one in the evening. So until then, take care, God bless, and don't forget the 3 Ps: prepare, practice, and persevere.